Hi, my name is Ron with Mobile DJ Guide, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about the mobile part of being a mobile DJ. So, and primarily focusing on the equipment and your system design. If you're like me, or if you've been a veteran DJ for a number of years, you know that you have to move your equipment. You have to load it up into your vehicle. You have to haul it into the venue. You have to set it up. You have to break it down, pack it up, take it back out to your vehicle, and then possibly into your storage, or if you leave it in your vehicle, whatever. But fact is, you're constantly moving your equipment, and I've had the opportunity to do as many as 9 events in a week personally, and I've done hundreds, if not thousands, of events over the course of my year. And so, moving my equipment is a very much a part of what I do. And so, I've looked at ways to try to minimize how much stuff I have to move, how quickly I can set it up, how quickly I can break it down, and make sure that I have all the equipment that I need each and every time at all the events that I do. And so I've kind of developed some philosophies or some ideas on how to approach this, and take them as you will. I mean, if you're a veteran DJ, you probably have already got a pretty good grasp on how to package your system and how to move it around, and you've probably learned how to economize your setup time and how to be a little bit more efficient. But for somebody just starting out, or somebody trying to get some basis for comparison on how to move forward with designing their setup, particularly for mobile applications, I've got some ideas that I'd like to share, and if they work for you, great. If not, then I don't know. So, anyhow, one thing I really like to focus on first and foremost is ease of transport. Again, DJ equipment can get heavy. I mean, I know there's some speakers upwards of 200 pounds, 220 pounds, and that's a lot. You need help with that. You can't move that by yourself. What I've done primarily, because the type of events that I focus on, and they typically involve wedding receptions, corporate functions, and I do a lot of elementary and middle school dances. These type of events don't require the kind of firepower or horsepower that you might need for, say, a big college function, or maybe a high school prom, or something where you're going to need lots of sound power to really make sure that everyone can hear the music and have a good time. So, for me, some of the things I start off again are ease of transport. So what I've done is I've taken my system and I've focused on each component and tried to minimize the number of components, but at the same time level out the weight of each of those components. Meaning, I have powered speakers that I use. They're plastic molded powered speakers, 15-inch, and they're right around 55 pounds each, which is about the max that I want to carry each and every time I make a trip to my vehicle. If I can't use a hand cart, or if I can't put it on some kind of a rolling mechanism to haul it into the facility. So I've designed it in a way that if I ever have to carry it upstairs, or if I have to go down a long hallway, or go over obstacles that I can't wheel it, then I make it easy to move by hand and carry it. And the next concept I put in there is quick and efficient setup. When I get to an event, right after I get all of my equipment hauled in from my vehicle into the venue and set up in the position that my client wants me, I can usually have sound going in about 5 to 10 minutes, because I've pre-configured all of my cases and my speakers such that I only have to connect a few cords and or wires to get sound up and running. For instance, I have an SKB DJ box with a mixer on top, CD decks, a lighting controller, an amplifier, and a bunch of other switches and doodads. And that's all pre-wired and pre-configured, so all I have to do is plug in one power cord. I run 2 RCA wires to my powered speakers, and I'm up and running. I have sound within just a few minutes. And so and the most important part about being a DJ is, of course, the sound. And then after I get that set up and in place, then I work on my lighting show. I make sure that I work on the lighting secondary, if that makes sense. The third thing I focus on when I put together a sound system is making sure that it's fail-safe. I make sure there's redundancy in there. You've heard people talking about having backup systems, or having another DJ on call if you're running your service. Well, I have to rely on myself, and I have to rely on what it is that I bring to the event to make sure that I can function. I can't rely on maybe the venue has an extra amplifier, or maybe another wireless microphone, or something, some kind of component that I might need in the event that something of mine fails. I build in redundancy, meaning I have more than is necessary in my system to make sure that it is fail-safe. So for instance, a great example is a lot of you might already be running powered speakers, and this is a great example of a fail-safe component. Because if one powered speaker were to fail, you could effectively finish your event with one powered speaker. It might not be as loud as you want, or the sound might not be as clear as you want, but you can still finish your event, and you can still have a great function even with one powered speaker remaining. Or another example would be a mixer. If you're running off one mixer board and someone spills a drink on it and it fries it, you're toast. So the powered speakers really kind of help prevent this as well, because you can actually take, if you're running from a laptop, you can quickly unplug your laptop from your mixer board and plug it into the back of your powered speaker, and you've got another fail-safe type of situation there where you can continue playing music with little or no interruption. And even having 20 or 30 seconds of dead air feels like an eternity sometimes. And believe me, if you've been in an event where people are dancing, having fun, and the music stops, that's no fun. So, and the other thing I want to talk about is scalability. For me, I focus on the same kinds of events, and so my system is kind of designed for the venues that I perform in, and for the type of events that I do. And so I really don't have to scale my system up or down because I'm doing very similar functions, and so I can use the same setup each and every time, which is convenient for me. And I get really good at doing that particular setup and using that, and I can perform much better because I don't have to worry about what it is I do. But if you do a wide range of events, again, come to play where you have that big, that big school dance, or I don't know, maybe it's a big team building event where you have to be outside, or you're just doing a big private party where you need a lot of horsepower in your system, then scalability is important. And really all that means is having additional amplifier, additional pair of speakers to maybe add to your current system, and perhaps some additional lighting components. So that's a relatively easy way to scale up and get more firepower out of your sound system. And finally, the last thing kind of plays into the scalability part is having headroom or potential in your system. For me, the system that I run is more than powerful enough to do all the kinds of events that I do. Meaning, I'm not running my system at full bore. I don't have my mixer at 10. I don't have my amplifiers turned up to 10 all the time, because for me, I like to have a little bit of extra. It's kind of like owning a sports car. Sports cars usually can exceed the current legal speed limit very quickly, and they can go much faster than the current speed limit usually allows. And so it's kind of the same thing with your DJ setup. You want to make sure that you can do what you need to do, and then have additional play or latitude in there, or what's called headroom. You don't want to be maxing out your mixer board. You don't want to be maxing out your amplifiers, because they're working hard, and it's harder on the equipment, and plus the sound can get distorted, and it just doesn't sound good. And so you're not providing the quality or bringing the quality to that function. You want to make sure you have enough headroom and play, because you want to be able to go above and beyond what you need to do at each and every function. So again, let me run through that list real quick. You want to make sure things are easy to carry. Each component of your system is easy to carry for your own back. Quick and efficient to set up, because if you arrive late, you want to be able to still get in place and have ample time to be up and running for your function. You want to make sure it's fail-safe, because you don't want to worry about a piece of equipment failing. You want to do your job as a DJ. You want to make sure your clients are happy. You want to make sure that they're enjoying themselves, and you don't want to have to stress over the fact that maybe this component's going to fail or crash at any moment. You want to make sure it's scalable if you're doing a wide range of events that have different numbers of attendees. And then you also want to have, the last things, you want to have headroom or a potential in your system to do more than you need it to do. So there you have it. Hopefully these 5 tips work for you. If you like this video and want to hear more, just feel free to subscribe to the channel up above. So we'll talk to you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.